This time it was my fault.
Yeah.
My fault for this, because I noticed this before we recorded, and I didn't make sure that everything was plugged in. The same mistake we did last episode, we did today.
But luckily, I turned up the sensitivity of the mics because we're using pop filters now.
Yeah.
And so we actually still got him with my mic.
Yeah, which luckily we did like 4 tests beforehand to make sure.
Because like I was messing with the sensitivity and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, like you're coming in super soft, but maybe you just need to project more.
Yeah.
Because you're picking it up for my mic.
So hopefully all the audio is still good, but just letting you know ahead of time, it's gonna pick up. So
yeah.
Enjoy the show.
Tiger Anime, episode 13.
Lucky number 13.
Yay!
Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tiger Anime, always sinking our teeth into everything that is anime and manga. My name's Arash.
And I'm Jay.
And hopefully we've got a good show for you.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. That's always a big hope, because honestly, we're really bad at this.
Yeah.
But we always tend to enjoy it so far.
Yeah, and that's why we do it, because we enjoy it.
We enjoy it. We like talking about anime. It's funny because, our motto has manga in it. We do read a lot of manga, but we
I also did get some manga.
Yeah, but we don't talk about it a lot.
Yeah, because I don't read all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, also...
And the only reason I don't get manga is just because my bookshelf in my closet. I have a bookshelf closet.
Yeah, I know. I've been there, but
it's full.
But actually, what I've been doing recently for manga is I've been doing Bookwalker, which is fantastic because you just go to their website. You're able to pay through PayPal and stuff like that. It's kind of funny because it's everything is converted to dollars, not listed in dollars. It's all converted, so it's actually the Japanese pricing for those books and stuff like that.
I might have to do that for some.
Because I've been doing the one Compulsive Gambler. I've been doing that one through their Merceria Lago. I've been doing that one, and also there's one called Domestic Girlfriend that I've also been doing through Bookwalker because it's just like I'm at work. I can't really go to the store and I need something to read, so it's like $7 for a volume of manga, and I can just do it through PayPal.
It's a little bit cheaper too. Manga's usually like $9.99. So you're saving.
Generally the manga I've been buying is like somewhere between $9.99 is like Shonen Jump because I can move a whole ton of units for it, but generally it's more like $12, $13 upwards, all the way up to $20. For the thicker volumes.
Shameless plug. We ain't paid by them, but we should be.
That's one way to put it.
Yep. So as usual with our show, we're going to start off with our past weeks. Jay, why don't you go first? Because I actually, for once, keyword for once, had an eventful week.
Yeah. Well, before this kind of didn't do like a whole bunch of stuff. I did end up watching Little Witch Academia. At least a good 5 episodes of it. They just got released on Netflix not too long ago. And it is fantastic. It is actually super, super, super fantastic. One of my favorite scenes in the 3rd episode, they're participating in a broom race. And the main character can't ride a broom. And so they come up with all these weird things, but she's so gung ho about it. Literally, you can't fly a broom. So what?
I want to be first because what's her name was?
Yeah, I forget. But my favorite part is that she's running with a cannon that they were using to get her to try to fly with a broom, is running with it, hops into it while it's still moving, lights herself off, and shoots herself into the air to grab onto a broom and then fling the chain around her, attaching it to it.
I love that
was
part.
so funny. But no, like, yeah, definitely see that. That is a trigger-ass trigger show. Like, that is, like, one of the best shows I've seen in a while that we couldn't watch because of Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So fuck them, I guess. Yeah, they also got Fate Apocrypha, and they're debuting it in November. I think with a dub as well. Because I know that Little Witch Academia is, like, dubbed in, like, 5 different languages.
Yeah, I saw that. I was really impressed. I really want to watch the first episode in each language just to see how it is.
Yeah, because a lot of it is that they... Because Netflix is such a global thing, in order for when they actually get a show, they want to debut it in as many places as they possibly can, which means that they are debuted in as many different places as they possibly can at once, which allows them to like get as many viewers as they possibly can, which is cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool that they're doing that. They're doing it also with I forget what the project name is now, but it was also but Projection IG's Perfect Bones got switched to something else. The title I forget and got announced at Anime Expo, but that's also another show that they're debuting online all the episodes at once for Netflix, like 120 countries. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of cool too. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that eventually when that comes out, whenever the fuck that does. Besides that, I got the 2 box sets for Kuro Mukuro, they're released by Pony Cannon, and I showed you before, but if you pre-ordered it before the first one got released on both sets, you can do one or the other, but you had to do both of them if you wanted to get with purchase. You had to do it before the first one got released, which was original keyframes.
Original keyframes.
You can really tell.
What are keyframes, Jay?
So. In animation, and when you're doing animation, there's 2 different types of different types of frames you draw to make the animation. You got the keyframes, which are the pose, like the major points of movement in an action. So like you put your arm at flat and then bring your arm straight up to like horizontal to vertical. Those would be 2 different keyframes, and everything in between, and then you have in-betweens, which is every single drawing in between that to make that motion as smooth as possible. That's what so a keyframe is a little drawing by someone, and I have 2 of them. One of them is from the first episode, and the second one I have to find what episode it's on in the second half of the show. So, yeah.
It's a nice, just niche little thing just to have.
Yeah, and you can actually, if you go... I know at Anime Expo, they do sell them there. In fact, you can get cells with the keyframes in it as well as the cell itself, and sometimes the background as well. But they're expensive. Like, we're talking, like, lowest I saw from pictures was from the Sonic cartoon, was like $50 for everything. Upwards of, like, I know that Evangelion sells, especially from the Evangelion movie, they sell starting at $200.
Wow.
Depending upon which cell it is. And the one that I know was $200 was the... Oops. I gotta get used to this. Is the point of the movie where Rey, like, gets, like, super giant, and then, like, those wings come out of her. It's that frame. Of, like, and it's like, I saw that, and I'm like, that is really cool. But, yeah. So, that's one of the things you can buy at Anime Expo. One of the reasons why I want to go is I actually want to buy a cell. I also did see them when I was in Japan, but they're so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking, like, $1,000 for a Ghibli cell. Like, they don't joke around with those. As well as, like, other production material stuff. But yeah, so I got the keyframes for Kuro Mukuro. The sets are also really cool. The picture quality is super nice. The only problem with the first one, the discs are swapped for the labeling.
Oh.
So the first disc is labeled correctly. Second disc is actually disc 3. And disc 3 is actually disc 2.
Oh.
Because when I put it in disc 2 into my PS4, it said, "Oh, disc 3, right?" no.
No, it's not what I put in.
And then I load it up and I look at the episode numbers. I'm like, oh shit, this is disc 3. And then I'm like, I pulled it out like just confused. I'm like, oh. And then I just put the other one in and I'm like, oh. And I just clicked play and then I lived my life.
It still works. Though.
And it still works. There's also I have to check if this is a PS4 problem, a Netflix dub problem, or the Blu-ray is fucked up for one of the audio tracks. When they're in the, because it's a mech show, when they're in the mech robots, if they get a call on the radio to their cockpit, the audio is so quiet that you can barely hear it. It's only for a couple lines, and thank God it's a PA work show, because it almost never happens.
Yeah.
Because they're almost always out of the robot. PA Works, the only studio that will create an original robot show that isn't in a robot.
Gorgeous.
But in order to actually afford these, it was $120 per set. I had to sell a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's quite a bit of holes. I'm also borrowing stuff to some other people. But I also got caught up on my Monogatari release. I got the last one I needed, which is the Owari Monogatari Part 2. After that, I'm waiting for the Kizu Monogatari, the last Kizu Monogatari movie, and then Owari Monogatari Season 2 comes out in August on 2 different days. It's a 2-day special where they're splitting up the show in 2 different chunks. So you get part 1, I think it's on August, sometime in August you get part 1 day, and the next day you get the second half of the series. Because they apparently finished, like, scripting everything, like, way ahead of time. Like, in fact, like, I think it was, like, last year, which is kind of insane for Shaft, because usually they're just a fucking mess. But it's so they're finally putting together everything, and like, because they said in the interview that the only problem they had was how to present it. So I'm looking forward to that, whenever the fuck that comes out. And then here in America, we had 4th of July.
My favorite holiday.
Yeah.
'Cause I get to drink and wear red, white, and blue. Not that I don't do that every day as it is.
You're wearing one right now.
I'm wearing one right now.
But no, so kind of a last minute thing for me, actually, where a friend of mine sent out a text message, was like, hey, who wants to get together for 4th of July? And I'm like, and my brother's like, I'm free. And then I just sent in, like, we can host it at my place because my parents are going to be gone. And so I went out and got got some chicken legs, chicken thighs, thing of brats, chips, beans, and then then I also went out, bought some beer and a bottle of rum, and then after that, and then in the morning of 4th of July, I made teriyaki sauce, and then I put the chicken and then marinated it all day. And so and then I put that on the grill later on. But then one of my friends came over early, like we're talking like 11 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock, and that's when I started drinking.
Oh. See, me and my wife were gonna come to your thing, but we did the same thing. Well, I did the same thing. And then she started drinking later, and once we realized, oh wait, this is the time you said we could come, I can't drive. Can you? Nope.
And a good thing you didn't call me, because I couldn't drive either.
Yep.
Because I was drinking the entire day. I had a drink in my hand at every single moment, even when I was cooking. But no, everything turned out great. The only problem was I misjudged how long it would take the coals for the charcoal grill to get going. But so the chicken got finished first, way faster than the brats did. But I'm actually kind of glad I put down the coals a bit early, because I didn't like boil the brats and beer or anything like that. So they need to start off cold, and then you slowly heat them up. So with the coals not going hot as they could have, they started off as cool, or they were still hot, but it was cooler than it was at like a full blast. But then so by the time they got ready, like I'd be pulling off the thing, and just billowing thing of smoke just comes, and I was like, yeah, smoke those brats. Oh, that was great. And then, so the food turned out great. A friend of mine brought a watermelon that I cut up. And my friends, afterwards, we played Avalon, which is basically like... It's like kind of like Mafia, in a way. But it's but with like King Arthur type characters and stuff like that, which is super fun. And we had a great time, did a lot of drinking, and then that was great. Yeah. And that was kind of... Oh no, I also saw the movie Baby Driver, which is by Edgar Wright, the guy who directed and wrote Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Huh.
Great movie.
Really?
Holy shit, that's a great movie. Go see that movie. It is absolutely fantastic. It is, and it's more or less Edgar Wright basically took his 80s mixtape. Mm-hmm. And then put film on top of it, because it features tons of great tracks from the 80s, and then also just Edgar Wright's fantastic writing and direction. Oh, it's a fun movie. Go see it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and then and that was about it. I also checked out some new shows, ordered some manga and stuff like that. Well, yeah, one of the things I got is I haven't read it yet, but it's my lesbian experience with loneliness.
I saw that when you posted a picture of checking my haul, and I was like, out of everything, that caught my eye immediately.
So yeah, I haven't read it yet, but I've heard it's a pretty thin manga book. But I've heard great things about it, and so I'm like, oh, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I also got the latest book of The Ancient Magus's Bride, and it is awesome and great, because The Ancient Magus's Bride is awesome and great. But yeah, so how was your week?
My week was great. I actually have stuff to talk about it, because I went to a convention this past week, and Khaleesi came.
Yay!
And we showed her Mall of America. It was big. Those of you who don't know Mall of America,
it's big.
It's literally the size of a city that's constantly being added. It has its own police force and anti-terrorism unit. That's how big it is. But yeah, we went to Minnesota Convergence. That's the name of the Convergence, if you ever want to look it up. It's like a 5-day con, I want to say. It started on Thursday, and it ended on Sunday, so it's a bit longer than what I'm used to.
Yeah, that is a really long time, jeez.
Yeah, we only went on Saturday and Sunday. Mostly because Saturday is always the busier day when it comes to cosplay and whatnot, because it's the weekend.
Yep.
So we went in there in our full cosplay. My wife went as her homemade Junkrat costume. I went as Soldier 76, and Khaleesi came as Diva. We saw a few panels here and there, a lot of people watching, mostly on Saturday, because we were in full costume. And also, I had a very fun thing happen at the con.
Oh.
That's I locked my keys in the trunk.
Oh.
When I went out to get us lunch.
Oh.
Because we brought our own lunch. And I close it, and then I reach around my neck to grab the keys to lock it, and I go, oh, fuck. And I'm looking around on the floor, I'm like, oh no. And I look at the trunk, and I go, oh no. So I'm here just... at that panic attempt, still trying to open the locked trunk. So imagine this Soldier 76 freaking out, going, oh no, trying to open this car's trunk that's not open, that's already closed.
Well, Dad's going senile.
So we had to call some guy, I had to call my insurance so they could get that. And then another thing too is that when we were on our way back from the Mall of America, we got rear-ended. That was fun.
Fun.
Yeah, a lot of bad stuff with the car.
Yeah.
Yep. And then on Sunday, we did a casual day. Saw some stuff here and there, but overall Convergence, for me not being able to go to a con in 4 years, Convergence was a really nice thing to go to. It's a general geeky type of convention. Yeah. Sci-fi, fantasy, a little bit of anime here and there, not too much. I was surprised about how much stuff they had, because you've been to Anime Detour in the past 3 years, haven't you?
I went this year, but the previous year.
Was it just the hotel? Was that just the DoubleTree?
Yes.
Did they have anything on like the other floors for events and whatnot?
They didn't have they had the places like where like they have like the main lobby and stuff like that.
Yep.
So like have like meetups and stuff like that. Also like where cosplay pictures are taken.
The plaza area.
Yeah, the plaza area. They also had the dealer's room, which is where it always is. Then they had 2 floors that had a bunch of conference rooms that were being used for panels and stuff like that. And then
the usual main area.
Yeah, and then the second floor of the main area, which has tons of rooms in it, was for room parties later in the night.
So Convergence has all that stuff. The area where Anime Detour usually holds the dealer's room actually wasn't a dealer's room. It was just another area for panels and whatnot, for dances or any big kind of shows and whatnot. The 22nd floor.
What?
Had like area so you can hold for tabletop games. They had an entire room where Mlem said they had 22 computers set up for LAN parties.
Oh wow!
Do you know like the Mech Warrior guys that come with their pups?
Oh,
they had them up there. Not only that, but the Sherrington Hotel across the street also had rooms for panels and whatnot, and that's where the dealer's room in the tiny artist alley is.
Yeah.
So this con is bigger than Anime Detour. But overall, the only thing I'm disappointed is just dealer's room and artist alley. Artist alley and Anime Detour usually brings in a lot of people.
Oh, like it's that room could not be more jam packed.
Yeah.
For artist alley.
There is literally, I can count all the artists on my two hands.
Okay, that's boring.
Yeah, and there was small room. It was like the same area where Artist Alley was. You could put the dealer's room in it.
Oh wow,
that's how small it was. Granted, they had a lot of cool stuff and whatnot, but overall, not a lot of stuff I would be interested in. You still got your guys selling all your cool knickknacks and board games and other stuff, but
yeah.
Anime Detour has stuff I like. It's got a whole tons of general anime merchandise, stuff that you can't find here.
Yeah.
A lot of the dealers were actually people you can find at the Renaissance Festival.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it was still nice, a nice con. I'm definitely going to go back there. The only problem I have with Anime Detour is just being focused on anime, which is a dumb thing to deal with, but
yeah.
When you're already so involved with the fandom, and then you get a whole bunch of those people together, it can get a little overwhelming a lot.
Yeah, and also there's the problem of, like, basically, you get, like, different sections of the fandom, too, and a lot of them you don't want to even, like, see or touch with, or even, like, bother with.
Oh.
like, especially, like, I find that, like, bless their hearts, but, like, younger fans are, like, and also, like, people who, like, kind of, like, going, like, this is the best anime ever, and they're holding, like, Sengoku Basara. Yeah. Sorry if that's your favorite show, but it's, like, there's other things out there.
Yeah, Convergence, for me, feels a lot more toned down, a lot more, I don't want to use the word mature.
I would say diverse would be a better thing.
I think diverse would be a better word to use. That it was a lot more calmer. Because every time in Anime Detour, I get a killer headache at the end of the day of some day.
I did too, because like there's it's so loud too. Yeah. Like there's generally like people playing like a bunch of loud music. Sometimes people like, I remember one guy who was like dressed up as Neon Cat. Yeah. And he had a freaking speaker on that was going around and stuff like that. So it's like it's really noisy Anime Detour. But I think they're actually, I don't know if it's 2018 or 2019, but they're moving to a hotel that actually Andy Minneapolis hosts theirs at, which is in downtown Minneapolis. Yeah. Which is kind of great because there's a bus line from my house to that convention.
Wasn't that because they had a little trouble with the hotel a couple years ago or something? I
would imagine it has something to do with politics. Yeah. Also, that hotel was kind of, with the way Anime Detour operates, it was kind of getting to the point where it was too many people, and Anime Detour couldn't grow any further in that location. So by switching it to the one downtown, it's bigger. The dealer's room is insanely huge there, and so they're able to get larger. They're able to grow more in that space than they ever would be in the DoubleTree.
Yeah, because when I think of Anime Detour, I think there's only so much different kinds of panels you can have when it comes to anime. When it comes to general fandom, I think that's why they wanted more space for panels and whatnot and all that kind of stuff. Because you have every single fandom basically in one place. You have more room. You're gonna have to make more room, which is why probably this one is quote unquote bigger. That they have most of the game stuff. That
I guess
is in a corner of Anime Detour on the 22nd floor.
Yeah, because I would imagine that there would be more people who are into that going to Convergence than there ever would be to Anime Detour.
Yeah,
because it's just not the focus of the convention.
Yeah,
but speaking of Detour, I am working on. I'll just say this now because I am working on gathering videos for a panel I want to do on anime openings and endings. I'm taking the title from Rem of RSC. It's going to be, I'm going to call that OPOP.
Yeah.
which is honestly a great title. But mainly focusing on like tons of like really cool openings and endings from the past 15 to 20 years. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go too far back because convention people are generally like of a certain like age group. Generally the persons who, the majority of people who go, I'm guessing, are going to be fans who became fans within the past 1 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And so, say, getting them to go to get them into looking at anything with cell animation, it's actually really, really hard because a lot of the quirks and restrictions of cell animation aren't actually there in current digital animation and just the way it's done right now.
Yeah.
So getting into that is a little hard for them. Also, the storytelling is different from them.
Definitely, storytelling is a lot different. Because, I mean, you can usually deal with a little better when it comes to older anime.
Yeah, but there's, like, some ones, like, if it's over, like, if the anime is over, like, 50 episodes, I don't even know if I can even deal with this. Even approaching 50 is, like, too much for me.
And then there's me that, anything before 2000... I have such a hard time dealing, and it's I'm pretty sure anybody listening is like, oh, how dare you? So many good. I'll admit there's a bunch of good shows.
Yeah, actually, these ones I can really recommend. Like obviously, I showed you Evangelion.
Yeah, Evangelion.
The farthest one I've watched back to completion is the original Mobile Suit Gundam. And then there's also a bunch of other things like. You need to watch His and Her Circumstances because I showed you the first episode.
I loved it.
It's amazing because it's a Dekiano.
Yeah.
But no, and so my target audience for it is the anime fan who became a fan between 1 to 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm going to be doing is cherry picking things, also talking about hey, why are these even made? How much do they cost?
Yeah.
I kind of find it hilarious when people talk about Bakemonogatari being a low budget production. That thing is an insanely high budget production.
Yeah.
Not because of the animation or the quirks and stuff like that, but because of the fact it has 7 goddamn openings to it, and two of the openings are actually different versions of the exact same opening, which they had to redraw the frames for it. It blows my mind when I look at it just blows my mind when I look at the just the amount of openings and different variations of the endings that they have for that. They spent so much money on that thing, and it paid off.
Oh yeah. And I think that's pretty much it. It's something I'll talk to you about after the thing, but it's just a little thing I have about a certain panel I went to, but I'll talk to you out there.
Okay.
Me just bitching and moaning. Old man yells at cloud. That'll be me for
But I want old man yells at cloud.
Well, we're gonna have a specific episode about that, talking about how we're so lucky, and all these new fans are so lucky how they are. But when we were us as the second generation, because everyone knows how bad it was for first generation anime fans. So
yeah, that's
that's another special coming up soon. But other than that, the con was good. Took Khaleesi in this morning to the airport. I hate construction.
The construction because I forgot there's construction at the airport.
At the airport, on the way to the airport.
Getting out of the airport
everywhere on the way home was construction.
Well, the 4 seasons of Minnesota, it's almost winter, still winter, and then road construction. Yeah. So now we're in the road construction season.
I want to leave this place.
No, just don't. I'll have no one.
Oh God.
But
yeah. So that was my whole experience, and I'm glad to be in the con scene again.
Yeah.
So happy.
I want you to come to Anime Detour. Because I think that would be super fun.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
Only so much time off, but...
Yeah, because it just happens being in a time spot where I can well, I'll have enough time to get it off.
Yeah.
So, yay. But moving on, there's so much news that came out. Like a bunch of premieres happened. Also, like AX happened.
Yeah,
like,
that's the biggest reason why.
Like Funimation, detailed their release. The biggest news out of Funimation's panel was actually two things. Gundam Iron. They have the home video rights to Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, which confused a lot of people because Right Stuff has a deal with Sunrise to release Gundam. However, Sunrise had other plans for Iron Blooded Orphans, and so they went with Funimation for their release because of how Funimation does their releases and stuff like that. But they're coming out with a collector's edition of Iron Blooded Orphans that comes with a model kit of the Gundam Barbados that is unique to that collector's edition and will not be available outside of it or in Japan.
That's really interesting.
Which is I'm like, that boggles my mind that's happening because I guess it's because of the slow burning popularity of Gunpla here. I know I like it. I haven't bought a new one in a while mainly because I want to get a really expensive one. But
yeah, I see less and less Gunpla nowadays. Because
you should be seeing it more at Barnes and Noble. Because if you actually go to Barnes and Noble, they have a glass case of a bunch of different models out and signs that are sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out.
Which one are you going to?
The one in Harmar.
That's probably why.
Because that's the one that has it. Because the one in Northtown doesn't.
Northtown Mall of America, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, Northtown Mall of America, I don't think those ones have it. Or if they have it in one in Mall of America, it's in a very off section somewhere.
Actually, they still might have it in the back. But when I used to make deliveries to the Barnes & Noble Mall of America, their display was in the break room.
Oh, fun. They're stupid. But no, there's a hobby store called Hobby Hub that I go to, that I buy most of my Gunpla from, and I just went there recently, and I went to their back corner where it is, and I'm like, why isn't it here? Did they get rid of it? Oh no. And then I walked down, and they, instead of being this corner thing of maybe 5 feet of Gunpla, they now extended it to about 12 to 15 feet of Gunpla in all of the shelves, and it's holy crap.
Okay, so we're back, and I hurt my hand really bad, actually. Ow.
So, back to, we were doing news.
Yeah, news. The Gunpla's on the rise.
Gunpla's on the rise. So, back to AX. Their biggest announcement for me, and probably for you personally, is that they announced that the movie Your Name is going... You can just open up the door. I don't give a fuck about the sound anymore. It's hot. Oh, it feels better. It's got the hot air out. But the biggest news is that the movie Your Name is getting a release this year in the United States with a standard edition, combo edition, and a collector's edition.
I'm really jealous because Khaleesi actually got to watch it on the plane here.
Don't worry. In a couple of weeks I'll have it.
Good, because I want to watch that super bad.
And just out of curiosity, is your TV 4K?
No.
Damn it! Because I'm getting the 4K Blu-ray.
Lem does, though.
I know, but it does come with the standard Blu-ray. And it's really awesome box set. So I'm getting that. But yeah, that's one of the other things from there. Nothing too much from Crunchyroll. They mainly talked about and Crunchyroll Expo and other things that they're doing, and was from other shows that they had and gods and stuff like that. Oh, one of the things they did announce though is that I don't know if they announced this before or before the expo or during it or something, but the first 3 episodes of The Ancient Magus' Bride is actually going to be getting a theatrical release here on July 26th, I believe. I posted a link to it on our Facebook page, but they are having a theater here in Minnesota, and I think in Oakdale, that's showing it as well, and it's $8.
That's not too bad. I'm glad
we're
starting to get
But
more
I'm
stuff.
excited for that because that doesn't premiere until October.
Oh.
So I might be going to that to watch it.
Nice.
Yes. But anyways, the biggest announcement for me personally, besides the biggest of, I'll just go event first. The biggest event that happened for me personally was that the animation studio Kyoto Animation released the world premiere of their show Violet Evergarden at Anime Expo themselves, not through anyone else, but themselves. And that show is actually not going to start until 2018. So the fact that they have the first episode complete and finished is bonkers.
Yeah.
Even for Kyoto Animation, that is a stretch. that they were able to deliver, from what I heard, movie quality animation and visuals inside of a TV episode.
Has any other company ever really done anything like this?
So the only one would be if like Production IG or Sunrise did something, but generally it's always through like Welcome to the Ballroom premiered at Anime Expo. However, that was through Pony Cannon USA and not Production IG, the production studio. Kyoto Animation's a little bit different. I was reading a blog on the Sakuga blog where they were talking about how this might be Kyoto Annie trying to branch out of the Japan market, and that instead of trying to stick with the just Japan market, which they have been doing since they've been making things, they're trying to hit a wider worldwide audience. And they probably picked Violet Evergarden because it has potential to get a wider audience than just Japan. And by premiering it at Anime Expo, they're trying to get the West excited about this show by them that has more action. It's not a slice of life show, actually. In fact, it's not even based in Tokyo or Japan, actually. It's based in a reimagining, I think of it's a fantasy world basically, and it takes place after a war, and about it's just this very different show that Kyoto Animation hasn't made before, and so I'm super excited to see what type of things they're doing, and also the directors that they have. He's really good. He did Beyond the Boundary, which, with its writing problems aside, it is a fantastic directed show, and it's beautiful looking. So I'm super excited to see where this production goes and where Kyoto Animation is going to go later on because of that. Because it's exciting right now because of what they're doing. But yeah, I'm excited.
Well, that's always good to hear, though.
Yeah, and then but the biggest announcement was Studio Trigger was there.
Yeah, I heard they had quite a thing. Did they win Anime Expo? Would you say they won?
I would say they won Anime Expo. So they announced an original sci-fi action television. They announced 3 different things. They announced this before. They said that we're going to announce three new things, and then they announced 3 new projects. The first one is a original science fiction television anime titled Darling in the Franxx, and that is with 2 X's. It's going to be in collaboration with A1 Pictures, which, if you've known anything about Trigger with their production, their first production actually wasn't Kill la Kill. It was actually episode 11 of Idolmaster. So having that connection right there it's actually a pretty good thing, because the director is the director of Idolmaster. But it has character designs by the character designer of Anohana. What else did he do? He did did a couple. Anohana. He was the character designer of Your Name, and he was the character designer of the movie Anthem of the Heart. So he's designing all the characters for that show, and I just watched a video on him, and he is bonkers with what he does and how involved he is with his shows. In fact, for Anohana, they did an art gallery of his redrawings, and he redraws almost the entire character sometimes for frames. The other one is called Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad Gridman.
Alrighty then.
It is. What is he? It's part of the Ultraman franchise, and it's actually the American title of one of the offshoots for Ultraman.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay then.
Yep. That one is being directed by Akira Ameyata. He's the director of Infernal Cop and Ninja Slayer. The other one is Pearl Mare. And the picture has this dude standing on a cliff with this gigantic gun in front of this giant robot thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And that one is being directed by Hiroki Imaishi. If I remember correctly, he is the director of Kill la Kill, Gurren Lagann, Penny and Stocking, and most recently it was Space Patrol Luluko. And my favorite of his is Space Patrol Luluko.
I really like that show, actually.
Yeah. So this is another one, and I think this is one that's just being done by Studio Trigger, because the other one is also being co-opted with another studio. I just can't see it right now. Oh, it is with Super Productions, the people who make Ultraman. So that's kind of the news stuff that's happened. Huh. Because there was so much that happened, I kind of just picked a few things.
Yeah, picked a few things, and we've been trying to cut back on how long our news is.
Yeah.
So usually this is our section where we usually talk about the anime we've watched, but unfortunately I was busy with the con and could not get caught up on anything, check out any of the new shows.
But
luckily, Jay did. Jay, tell me what I should watch this season. What you should watch,
so don't watch some of these shows.
So basically, I'm going to watch most of these shows.
If you want to torture yourself.
You know I do. How can I torture myself,
with boredom.
Jay? Yeah.
With boredom.
How can I torture myself,
So the first one you can torture yourself with is 18 If. I didn't even finish the first episode.
Oh, wow.
I got like 8 minutes in, and I'm like, I don't understand anything that's going on. The visuals hurt my eyes, and you're just speaking nonsense.
Who's streaming this one?
Crunchyroll. And it's also kind of weird. The opening has English text for the credits. It also is based off a game. And then there's also, it's all dealing with dream stuff, and I've seen dream sequences done really well. This one is the worst possible. If you want an example of a way not to do dreams in film, watch the first 8 minutes of this show, because it is horrendous. The editing is fucking atrocious. There is multiple times where they're doing multiple images of the same exact thing.
Yeah,
and it's done so poorly because it's why? It's it makes no fucking sense, some of the things they're doing, and there's barely any explanation. In the explanation they do have is completely other bullshit. It was awful. It was really boring, and the character designs look really bad. They did, however, have hand-painted backgrounds. Oh. That was really cool.
But that's That was taking a turd and putting a little cherry on top. Really nice looking... No. How would you compare this?
I would say, take a beautiful canvas and then place turds in front of it. That's what it was like.
That's a better visual.
Yeah. But no, so that's what it was, that show. I couldn't stand it. I did end up watching a couple minutes of Welcome to the Ballroom, but based on the opening, and the subtle visuals and cues that I was able to pull from that, I am gonna have to wait until until I have huge chunks to watch at once.
Yeah.
Because I can tell this is gonna be a ton of drama, and there's I don't know when that's gonna be melodrama or not, but I just don't want to deal with
seeing all this.
Relationship. I don't want to deal with relationship cliffhangers. That to me is the worst type of cliffhanger, and because it stresses me out a lot, and so I might wait till it's all over, which to be honest is going to be a very long time. Because I think they announced it's 25 episodes long, and so I might have to wait till next year to watch it, because otherwise I just won't be able to, because I just would be too stressed out from it.
Yeah, I know me and my wife are going to be... That's one of the shows that we're going to be watching together, actually. So
yeah.
So that episode's already out.
It's on. It's an Anime Strike exclusive.
Okay, good thing I got that.
Yeah. It was good. Also, one of the other, from what I saw, animation's fantastic, direction's fantastic. It's gorgeous looking. It looks like Haikyuu in a bit. I think it's some people working on it are there. So here's a bad show that you should watch called Knights and Magic.
Uh-huh.
It is by far one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
I like those because what was that one by Funimation about the all girl party, but they all wear like bikini armor?
Oh, you mean Bikini Warriors?
Yes, I watched that. That show was terrible.
So this one is terrible it's super dumb. The main character is like a Mary Sue to the T. However, it's a really fun show. This dude who's a really good programmer. He programs like this game like in a single like finishes a program for a game in a single night, and I was like, oh my gosh, why is he so good? Like he's so great. I want to be just like him. It's like, you don't want to. He's a mech otaku, and so he goes out. So like you see him like in like this like poorly rendered store of like him like being excited about buying these models. He buys like probably like $300 of a models like right then and there, and then he walks outside, gets hit by a car and dies. He then wakes up inside this fantasy world that has robots.
Beautiful.
So like robots in a fantasy world, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, a robot!" And he's like just like small dumb little kid, and everyone's like, "You can't do that." And so, but he retained all of his memories from when he was an adult. So like he's also like still a super great programmer, and the magic in this world is like programming and stuff like that.
Of course it is.
And so like what does he do? He becomes a super genius.
Of course he does.
And like and in the latest episode, like he basically destroys the controls to this robot that he steals from someone. And then he takes these he made magical gun wands, and he just wraps these cords around it, and he's able to pilot it because it hasn't changed for centuries. The robot's not meant to move like that, and so he ends up breaking it. It's super fantastic.
Oh god!
He's always having a super great time, and his harem is already starting.
It hurts just listening to this, but I'm gonna watch it.
It's so dumb. It has some pretty good animation because the directing is actually kind of the directing on it is fun. It's not super oh, I'm dark and edgy. It's no, it's robots.
And how would a real person would be? Oh, crud, robots.
No, this one is oh my god, robots, yep. Yes. and the show's look at these robots, they cool. And that's basically what the show is, and it's super fun, but super, super dumb.
Oh my god.
The other one I watched, which is a, okay, so I'm actually go back to another bad one. Restaurant in Another World, or Restaurant to Another World. I can't remember how it's done because I just wrote restaurant because I didn't care.
Yeah, that's a good sign. we're it's number one season. Huh?
So this is by far one of the ugliest looking shows I've seen in a while. The character models look horrendous. They just don't work. Mm-hmm. You're looking at him that is not a person. You are just a monster on this thing because your chin is half the size of your head. And the layouts for it are terrible looking. In my opinion, I just think it's a show that looks really awful. It has almost no budget. Almost none. You can kind of tell the character designs are meant to look good while being still, and they don't. Because they have this weird filter on it that makes it look terrible. You can't even it sometimes looks like the lines are disappearing on their face.
I gotta see this for myself.
It's so bad looking, and it's also just terrible.
I need to see this for myself.
I actually finished the first episode because I want to see where this goes. But no, it doesn't look that great.
That's always good.
Yeah. This is all my personal opinion. It's
kind of like how I was with Love Tyrant.
Love Tyrant looks awful, is awful.
And I needed to see how awful it got.
Yeah, and you told me, yeah.
And I still haven't finished it either. I'm going to this weekend, hopefully.
Okay, so the next two ones are actually good. Katsuki Token Ranbu. is the Ufotable show this season, and by God, is a Ufotable show. It is super gorgeous looking. It's animated to the nines. Even like the CG looks really, really great. Great layouts. Everything about it looks great. I just wish I was a target audience for this, but I am not a 20-year-old woman. Because it's all super hot guys.
Yeah.
Who are named after swords. Yeah. All the characters.
This is targeted.
So they're all. So here's the premise of it is that there is this organization that is trying to save the history by preventing these like time like warriors or whatever from fucking with it, and so they send what's the word for like Utope, like the gun show, where it's like all the other girls are different guns. Yeah, what is that? What is that called?
Upote.
Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic items.
They're anthropomorphic swords.
So kind of like with Upote and Kankali and anything like that, basically.
Yeah, basically, except like the only thing that's like you can tell that it's a sword is the sword they're actually wielding. It's more than likely the sword they're named after, but it's like super hot dudes. Like there's like and like different types of super hot dudes. You got like the tall, like the one with super long hair, is super hot, and it's like the leader, and then you got the Shota character, and then you got the guy who's like short hair, who doesn't like the guy with long hair, who also has a gun and makes fun of him. But this Fujoshi are totally drawing them fucking each other. Like it is I just wish it was targeted at me because the direction on it is fantastic. The animation is fantastic. It looks so cool. It's just that I was literally looking at the last shot of the show and I'm like, oh god, I can already see the ships. The ships are just going.
There it goes. Bye. All aboard the ship boat.
All aboard the ship show.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's Token and Ranbu. The last one is actually you have to see this show.
Okay.
Literally from the first frame the first visual they put up, I was hooked into it.
Oh.
It's called Made in Abyss.
Okay.
Basically it starts off with this young girl and boy who are walking down this walking down through these ruins and going through searching for different items, and then one of them is attacked by this serpent type thing. It's gigantic, and she ends up running around, getting away from it, and then all these other things, and then they find a robot boy. And by the way, all the character designs look like they're super small and cute and adorable looking. Apparently, it goes to this show. Apparently, the manga goes to some really dark places, which is going to be interesting, especially with the character design that they have. But it is one of the most gorgeously animated shows. One of the most has just incredibly gorgeous hand-painted backgrounds. Some of the best layouts I've seen in a very long time. It is by far one of the best shows this year, just by its first episode. If the show kind of peters off and kind of ends with a fart, it will always have this lavishly produced first episode. Mm-hmm. There's so much character in everything. There's so much charm in a ton of it that I am excited to see where it goes. And even if it kind of goes to crap, I'm just going to watch it for the visuals alone. It's basically everything I like about anime distilled into one single episode, and it's fantastic. You should definitely watch Made in Abyss. Only problem is it's an Anime Strike show exclusive.
Yeah.
But if you can watch it, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I'm excited for next week for the next episode. Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Cool.
So yeah. And there was one or two other ones that I spent maybe 3 minutes on before turning them off.
Yeah. So then those ones aren't worth talking about.
No,
then.
there's one that was basically kind of Middle Eastern garb, And it kind of got to this one scene that like happened, and I'm like, that was the dumbest thing ever. Turn that off. But yeah. So that's basically it. I did watch, I did also watch the first episode of the Eccentric Family, which is a PA Works from 2013. PA Works show from 2013. Fantastic show. I need to watch more of that. It's basically all the characters are Tanuki. In Kyoto is also I can't remember one of the other ones, but it's absolutely gorgeous looking and really looks like nothing else out there. And so definitely watch that if you can, because Crunchyroll just got the license back for the first season again.
Okay. Because
the second season just wrapped up. Other one is I caught up to Recreators. So this week's episode was continuing from where it was off 2 weeks ago, because the week prior to the episode 13 it was a recap episode.
Oh, okay.
But watch it. It was planned ahead of time. And they make fun of it. There's a legitimate line in it where one of the characters just basically says to you, don't worry about, like, you know, like how the rumors of everything going in the anime industry is kind of like going bottoms up.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry, that's not what happened here. The director, like, they literally said, like, the director and producer needed this week to be able to rest. Because otherwise they would, like, as the show said, they would be skeletons.
Yeah.
Because the director, Aoki, director of, like, Fate Zero, Noah Zero, he's, the longer shows he's done has always had, like, 3 months off. Like, not airing anything, so they have time to do everything.
Yeah.
It's his first one where it's 25 episodes straight away, I think, since Girls Bravo, which was, like, in 2003 or something like that. So, yeah. And then the next episode was also super fantastic, and, like, just kind of moving the minor characters forward, and no action at all, actually. but it's still super great, and I'm excited to continue to see where it goes. Well, yeah, and that's basically it. Oh. Otherwise, I watched The Walking Dead a lot.
Yeah. So how do you think the season's gonna be then?
I still need to check out 2 more shows. I just don't remember what they are off the top of my head.
I know one of them, because I think the Centaur one hasn't aired out yet.
It is.
It's out now? Okay.
I think everything is out now. Everything that's been licensed except for Compulsive Gambler and Fate Apocrypha. Those are Netflix titles. And so they won't be out till they're done. I know, it ticks me off too.
It's another thing we're gonna have to talk about our special, is my little issue with Netflix when it comes to anime. And
there's an Answer Man article I can actually link you that explains what they're doing. I don't care either, but but to be honest, it's kind of nice to, like, have, like, 2 shows that get pulled off. Like, okay, I can wait. I don't have to worry about those 2. I can watch them at a later date. That's kind of nice. But yeah, so tons of stuff happened with, like, Anime Expo in terms of, like, releases, but not much in the way of announcements besides what Trigger did.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The season's gonna be okay?
Yeah, it's gonna be alright.
It's gonna be alright. Not fantastic like some seasons this year that I can't remember. Spring, yeah.
You mean spring? Like the one that just
Yeah, that one was really good.
That one was really, really good. And also My Hero Academia is back up again from its after its week break.
Good, because I'm almost getting caught up soon.
So. This last episode was really good because it introduced it finally and got, like, the main character to control his power. Finally, and he just was standing there flexing while lightning, like, was, like, coming from his body. I'm like, yeah. So yeah, I'm excited.
So that's pretty much our show today. Sorry, it's a little shorter, but you know.
Well, we can do what are you looking forward to?
Oh, that's right. What am I looking forward to? Well, I'm looking forward to a lot of the shows, a couple of shows this year. Unfortunately, Compulsive Gambler, I'm gonna have to wait a while due to Netflix. It's always hard with Netflix because I want to give into that temptation and just watch it, but at the same time, I want to support the industry. Yeah. So I hold it back. I'm really interested in that Centaur one. That one looks kind of cutie.
Yeah.
The one you mentioned, I can't remember. I already slipped
Made in Abyss.
Made in Abyss. I want to check out a couple of terrible shows too, as well. Yeah. As well as a couple of those really, really odd title ones. One that's
There's one that's like Hive's Fleet Girl Fruit or something like that. That's like apparently good.
Yeah, there's that one that's just like, what was it, like complete NTR but not hentai.
Oh, you mean NTR Notarized Trap,
Yeah.
which apparently is awful.
Good, because I want to see it. I want to see how
There's also,
awful it
like,
is.
So you know how I don't know if you were there on Discord for it, but we were talking about how the anime that where this girl gets up a priest.
Yep, that one.
So there's another show that's basically kind of in the same vein where like, it's porn.
Yeah.
But airing on TV as well.
Oh god.
Is called like something like there's a demon underneath his skirt because it's the guy dressed as a woman.
That's great.
Yeah, I may have found the first episode and watched it.
Oh no.
It was something.
Yeah.
I looked at like that existed.
Yep. The good job, anime.
You exist.
You definitely exist. So that's my things for looking for, getting caught up on everything.
Yeah.
Because I've been out of it for the past 2 weeks due to getting ready for the convention.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to working on my panel. I found a website that is literally just dedicated to anime openings, and you're able to download them, which is super helpful because trying to find downloads for them can be stressful, especially if you don't remember, especially if you're trying to find specifically just the opening. Like sometimes, like, oh, I can find the entire show, but I just want the opening.
Yeah,
from it.
Less work too, because if you do that, then you have to edit it.
Yeah, I'd have to literally pull out the cut, like put into a video editor, and then just cut out that one, which I actually will have to do for some of the ones I do want to find. I also need to come up with a timeline for the
script, docket,
and stuff like that. Because I have like a thing. I have like titles for different things I can do, but I just need to figure out like also like taking the chunks and like kind of puzzle piecing them together to see how they fit together, and creating. And then once I get that together, and creating transitions between them. Mm-hmm. So yeah. It's gonna be. I'm excited for that. If you actually want to help, that would be incredibly helpful.
Yeah, I can help any way I can.
Yeah, just kind of more like I need openings. Specifically, names of directors who make openings specifically, because I have 3 right now, and I need a 4th and a 5th one if I can find them.
Okay.
Because I'm having difficulty doing that.
Yeah.
Because I just need a bigger pool of names to pick out of. I think the 3 I have right now are good, but I want a lesser known one than what the 3 I have. So,
okay, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that stuff, but I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. I'm also trying to think of. I'll tell you that one after the podcast. But anyways, we are Tiger Anime.
We are Tiger Anime. You can find us on Facebook at Tiger Anime 2.0. You can also find us on the Tumblr at Tiger Anime 2_0 at Tiger Anime 2.0 works as well. You can find us on iTunes as well as Google Play as well as Ellipsinat. You can also email us at TigerAnime 2.0 at gmail.com. What's that again?
TigerAnime 2.0 at gmail.com.
I've been busy. Remember?
Yeah, and so also, it's not Tumblr, it's Twitter. We do not have a Tumblr.
Not yet, at least. No. Anyways, I'm Arash.
I'm Jay.
And this is Tiger Anime, signing off.
Bye.
Bye.